Everyone, and welcome to episode 77 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and we are quarantined and in physical distance from each other.
Exactly. We're working from home and doing what we're supposed to do and trying to flatten the curve.
Yep. We wanted to take this time to still try to come to you with a little information about some of the houses that are on the market, what we're doing to stay sane. And in the second half, one of the things that we want to talk about is what is going on with this great pause that we're going through, and how is it different from 2008 and some of the other situations that we found ourselves in. So sit back and we're going to do a little discussion, and I guess start off with, how are you staying sane these days, Jeff?
Let's see. So I have been taking a lot of really long walks with a bunch of my friends. I say a bunch, there's 3 or 4 of us that get together. Everyone's got a pole that's 10 foot long. And so when anybody starts getting a little close, you push them away. And it seems to work really well for us. You
can tell we're working from home.
Okay, anyway.
And we're back.
And we're back. I know how to fix that. Hold on.
Well, one of the things that I've been doing is our trainer actually sent out a list of items that you could order from Amazon, and he would then be able to train virtually at your house. And so I ordered booty bands. If you don't have those, they're amazing for squats. I ordered it's called a pull-up strap, but he has me do everything but pull-ups with it. Jason is a little concerned that the balustrades were not designed to take what I'm doing with them, but we're going to see. And then I ordered an ab roller, and the TRX straps came in late last night, so I'm going to try to get those orchestrated. Stay tuned. Hopefully I don't have to call a handyman when I get that right.
Yeah. Well, one of the other things that we wanted to talk about today was the, supporting small business. We're small business people, and one of the biggest hit industries is restaurants. And so Weston and I put together a list of restaurants. He picked up 2 of his favorites. I picked up 2 of my favorites. And so I just wanted to kind of jump over and share with you some of our favorite restaurants. So why don't we get started?
If you know me, I'm lactose intolerant, but I'm still going to put pizza as my number one. It is a restaurant that's just down the road from us, and it is at 2519 Fitzhugh. Zalot's Pizza. It's amazing. You can order online. They've done a really good job of in the parking lot putting in tape, so you know exactly what your 6 feet is if you didn't bring your stick, like Jeff was discussing, to poke people. My favorite 2 pizzas are going to be, and this is so funny, but it's the polar opposites. It's going to be meat lovers, no cheese, or it's going to be the vegetarian, no cheese, no peppers, no onions, add spinach, add basil. They're amazing. And then the next restaurant that I love is Hungry Belly, and it's also on Fitzhugh, just down the road. It used to be where Mama San was. This is a really great, I call it my Asian comfort food. They have an outdoor waiting area that's really amazing. Easy parking, pull through. They have everything from sushi to, my favorite is the bulgogi bento box, which comes with, I think, a California roll, salad, spring roll, and then the bulgogi. It's amazing, super comforting. It's quick, easy, get back to the house. So if you haven't tried it, these are my 2 go-tos.
One of my favorites is HD Supply Company, and we go there for lunch every once in a while. And my favorite dish there is the build your own bowl. And it's one of those dishes that, when I go in hungry and the bowl lands on the table, and I look at the bowl and I'm thinking, where's the other half of this? And then you dig into it, and it's got so much in it that, by the time you finish the bowl, you're just stuffed. All the ingredients are super fresh, just really a great place to go. I wanted to tell you a couple other things that HE Supply Company is doing. They're part of a larger restaurant group, and HD Supply Company and their sister restaurants has started a product that basically says no family will go hungry. And so if you are someone that has been impacted by the economic things that are going on right now, you can fill out a small application and they will provide your family with some meals. And it's really a great program. A lot of really large food supply corporations are backing them on this because they're doing such a great job with it. But they also have their normal takeout stuff, and they've got special instructions on their website where to go, where to pull up. They'll open the back seat of your car, drop your food in, and you're on your way. The other one that I wanted to mention is the Italia Express that's at the corner of Cedar Springs and Throckmorton. And, I will admit I've been to the entertainment district there. There's a couple of bars that I've really enjoyed a couple of libations at. And these guys are open really late into the evening. It is a family-owned restaurant, two brothers that just smile when you walk in the door. They're so happy to see you. You can get pizza by the slice, have it heated up. My favorite is the fettuccine Alfredo. They just make an amazing Alfredo sauce. They're at the corner of Cedar Springs, Throckmorton, and please give them a call. They do takeout, they do delivery, and they will be happy to help you. So those are our suggestions for restaurants. So
I'm so hungry. I don't know what we're going to order. That was almost torture. So, yeah. So typically, this is the point in the show where we begin to go over 3 houses in different parts of town that we've previewed, and then there's a slide of images that we've put together, and we talk over that. But today, Jeff is actually doing double duties, and again, he's going to be on-air talent, and he's also going to be the producer. So what we've done is we had a house that about 3 weeks ago, we got everything in order, and the homeowner had us pause for a split second, and we just bought the house on the market. And so we thought this would be a great time for us to highlight this home because we've already been through it. We didn't have to go in anyone's house. And so this first property, or the one property that we're going to have, is going to be 4252 Keys Drive. And this is a house, I think it's how many days on the market, Jeff? Are we like?
It went on, I think it went really live on Thursday or Friday of last week.
So this house is actually in the Colony, and the great thing about this house is the price point, the renovation, the location actually of the house and of the lot. There's a lot that this house offers. We're going to put the link in the comments below, so you can click on it and you can get a really good idea. The photography was done really well by Danny Martinez, and it comes out really well. You can see that this is truly a turnkey home ready to move.
Yeah, ready to walk in. Vaulted ceilings, great bedroom layout, a really big walk-in closet and master bedroom. And we'll go into more detail when we get things back to normal in another 2, 3, 4 weeks, and show you everything that we normally show about it. So,
well, what we're going to do now is cut for a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the difference between the past recessions and what we're going through today. So stay with us.
There are lots of ways to keep up with us. Visit and like our Facebook page to watch us live and get updates about future show topics. Also, visit our Instagram page where you can see the latest homes that we have for sale. You can also check out our website at updikepugh.com, where you can create customized searches of active and sold homes that you find of interest. If you're interested in how much your home is worth, visit homeprice.fyi and you can get a price instantly. Just enter your address and a couple of pieces of information about your home, and we will email you a price. Last of all, you can reach out to us by phone or text at 214-377-2223.
So welcome back to our second segment today, and we're going to be talking about what is going on in the market. It is a question we get regularly, but I think we're getting it 10 times more right now because there's so much that depends on the real estate market. Working for a company like ours, a couple of years ago, we were purchased by Berkshire Hathaway, and in that changeover of management, we are getting such great information that is really it is really the nuts and bolts. And one of the people in our corporate office is a vice president and vice president of accounting and of finance and operations, named Anthony Jackson, did an amazing job with an email on Friday that gave us some really good information that we wanted to kind of share with you today. So, Weston, you want to jump into it?
Yep. One of the things that we really want to focus on right now is what actual happened to home prices during the last 5 recessions. And on the first slide that we're going to take a look at, we're going to go all the way back to 1980. And it's really interesting because I thought this was counterintuitive of what I would think would happen in an economic downturn. And actually, home prices increased by 6.1%, which is remarkable. But that's what we have as far as the data that Anthony provided us.
And then in 1981, that was the savings and loan crisis. Oil was really having a hard time. There was a lot of focus on those two industries. And when both of those cratered, it sent our economy into a recession. And I'm going to take one step back and kind of define a recession for you. A recession is really 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth. And so I think that with the end of the first quarter happening on May 31st, I have a feeling we will see that be our first quarter of that, and potentially second quarter of this year will be at that second quarter. And then, that after that, I think we'll begin to see that rebound, because the issue that we're dealing with is not the viral issue we're dealing with is not necessarily a long-term thing as we see it right now.
Yep. And I think that when we look at the slide, you can see that in 2008, home prices dropped dramatically at 19.7%. And I think that there's still that memory, even though it was over 10 years ago, that memory is so fresh because so many people got caught in that. It felt like it lasted so long that we wanted to take and step back into 2008 and look and see what was happening then and give context about why that happened quite the way that it did and how we're different today. And so I think it's really important that we have learned from our past. And as Jeff always says, the pendulum swings in the opposite direction. And I think it really began doing that, and it saved so much of us for what we're going through today.
Yeah. One of the big differences was in 2008 was there was so much reckless lending. And, if you had a pulse and could fog a mirror, you could get a loan. And there were a lot of stated income loans where people may or may not have overstated their monthly income to qualify. There were people that were borrowing against their 401k to put minimum down on a home. There were people that were taking out home equity lines of credit against a home that they may have owned for 10 years already and had a lot of equity in. And then they would take that equity and they would break it up and use it to buy 5 more homes with, because everybody thought that was the right thing to do. And when we came out of that, the lending guidelines were really tightened up. And while we saw those get very tight for a while, they did relax a little bit, but they've kind of relaxed back to what, makes sense in the marketplace right now. You do have to qualify for a loan, and you have to document you qualify for a loan. So that I think is a really important change.
And in 2006, 7, 8, I was actually in new home sales, and we were using the appraisers, and they would literally have to go into neighborhoods that bordered us in some of our other areas, but neighborhoods that maybe had larger homes, more amenities, different sized lots. And there was just a lot more freedom for appraisers to not always use the best comp data, but the comp data that actually supported these increased prices. And we many times had agents that would call us in the different neighborhoods and ask if we were taking investors, because the investors were coming from the different states, Phoenix, California, Florida, and they were coming in with their money that they had pulled out, like how Jeff had said, and were using it to come in and buy up homes that they thought they were going to make really great investment pieces with.
Yeah. And then when the market crashed and all those investment properties, were still sitting there empty, it created a flood in the market at the time.
Right. And then we also have seen that when the snapback happened after everybody settled down from 2008 and 2010, that there were a lot of pent up buyers. And with a lot of pent up buyers and with a decrease in the number of actual properties there, cash truly became king. Not Tiger King, but actually cash was king. I like that little fun.
Speaking of, yeah, how we're keeping busy.
Yeah, exactly. And so cash became a situation where it was no appraisal was required. It could close almost instantly. And people were doing everything they could, from taking loans from other family members, pulling money out of 401k, and then applying for a mortgage later in order to pay back that 401k.
And they were taking advantage of the really low interest rates we have now. Interest rates in 2008 were, I don't think they were quite double, but they were certainly 80% higher than what they are today. So that's and those are really, I think, some really key differences. Weston, you and I were talking earlier, and you said there's really kind of even a sixth point in here that we didn't. So
we didn't talk about it, but one of the information points that Anthony pointed out was that in the February of 2020, there was only 3.3 months of inventory.
Mm-hmm.
And if we go back to February of 2008, there was 9.5 months of inventory. And developers were just pushing tons and tons of product out onto the market. And though we still have a healthy new home construction, it's not at the same rate. And there are, I think, people who remember 2008 enough to know not to let it get that far ahead. And so with that being said, we're not in a situation where there's this enormous amount of shadow inventory that has to be absorbed. And we don't have the foreclosure market that is going to take over and eat up a portion of the healthy resale market that's out there.
Yeah, and the foreclosure, the number of foreclosures that are being posted are at 30-year lows right now. Now we'll probably see that number increase because of this, but we're certainly not going to see it go back to the near the levels that we saw before.
And one of the things that I also thought Anthony brought up that was really important is that they're calling this the great pause, and that we are entering this great pause from a point of strength. If he looked back at the first 2 months of Q1, and they were accelerating markets, which had this not happened, we probably would have had another, not record breaking, but another really healthy year within the real estate world.
Yeah, our in the Ebby Halliday family of companies, including our Dave Perry-Miller brand, the number of pendings was up 9% January of 2020 compared to January of 2019.
Which is amazing because 2019 was a great year as well,
Yeah.
So one of the things I think that we kind of want to leave you with is a quote from Steve Harney, and it comes from Keeping Current Matters. And I thought it was really important, and Anthony brought it up, and it says that the market is paused. It is not broken.
Yes, I would absolutely 100% agree with that.
So I think that's all we have for today's show. It was quick, short, and sweet. We hope that you enjoyed it. We'd love to get your feedback. Please like, share, and subscribe as you feel comfortable.
Yep. And thank you very much for joining us today. It's always good to be back with you.
Yep. And remember, stay healthy, and we want to be your realtors for life.